it's very codependent. Like
Yeah.
they're very codependent on each other. I mean, we're codependent on each other, but in like a more healthy way, if
Yeah.
we can even claim that. Hello, clowns.
I'm Ami.
I'm Yu Chen, and we're the hosts of Clown Vibes Podcast.
We're just two best friends who get together to laugh and discuss a variety of topics.
From all things pop culture to navigating through adulthood as Asian Americans and more, with our very own clown spin, of course.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we really hope you enjoy the episode. What up, clowns? How's it going?
I think we're both struggling this morning.
We're hella struggling.
Because there's no rest for the clown. Like, we took
No.
a week off, and now we're just like, but there's so much to discuss.
There's so much. Every 2 days we message each other like, should we do an episode on this? And there's just not enough time. How was your trip?
It was good. I was in SoCal, so it was nice to be in the sun and the smog. But Nico and I went up to Santa Barbara for a day, and I've never been, and I've heard such like good things about it. It's very cute. Every coastal California town honestly looks the same. It's by the beach. There are hills, there's grass, there's a mission, and then there's like this main street. I mean, similar to every like small town, there's like that one main street
Yeah.
that's gentrified. So we were like driving there to go work, or not to go work. We were driving there to find a restaurant to eat at, and we like parked at this parking lot. And as we were pulling to this parking lot, I saw this like really cute building.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, let me try to take some pictures over there. It was like white building with like a lot of Spanish decor on the outside. And like right as I was getting up to like get my photos taken by Nico, this guy comes out in like a jail uniform and handcuffs. And his jailer was like, they both looked at me and I looked at them, and he brought the guy, like the convict, like back in as if like he's like, oh, he was like used to this interaction. But like Nico and I looked at each other and we're like, is this the county jail?
Okay, I now vaguely remember you sending me the picture. I was in a black hole last week. Anything that happened, I don't remember.
Same.
Obviously, you saw in huge pop culture news that Taylor and Joe broke up.
I think the most clownish thing was that Nick Cannon was like, I'll have a 13th child with Taylor. Like, let me hit her
Casually.
up. Yeah. No one asked.
No one asked him. Also, does Taylor even know who Nick Cannon is? And what is Nick Cannon even known for besides having everyone's babies?
I think he was on Nickelodeon.
Oh.
Do I think that because his name is Nick, though? I don't know. But yeah, I doubt that Taylor probably knows of him in the same way we know of him,
Yeah.
in that he has a million children with a lot of different people.
He's okay having her children because he knows he's not going to have to take care of her
Yeah.
him. Classic man move.
Classic. So classic. When I saw it, I was just like, what the fuck?
How serious do we think he's being?
You know what? It's anyone's guess. I would say serious because he is ultimate clown.
Ultimate clown. We'll have to do an entire episode on Nick Cannon and his baby mamas.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know that we're mentally prepared for that.
If I become more mentally unstable, I will be.
Okay, we've both got to go regress. We're both doing too well.
Oh, well, I haven't been in therapy in a while, so I'm on a good track.
Well, my therapist just left me, so same.
All right, our main topic of today is also about a clown celebrity.
Is she a celeb?
Clown influencer. It is all about Miss Caroline Calloway. And I don't know if you kind of like grew up knowing who Caroline Calloway's grew up. I mean, in the early like 2010s. Did you know who she was?
No, and I would only see her name pop up from that one person we both follow on Instagram, Sophie Ross. Like that lady
She hates her.
This morning I went to her profile and searched Caroline Calloway and read
No,
through
she deleted it.
all of her tweets. No, like
Oh,
Sophie's about all of
yes.
the tweets that she used to
A
do.
very quote unquote credible news source for
Yeah.
this topic.
I bet she's Pigeon.
Who is Pigeon?
I would only see like random stuff about her on Twitter, but I never really knew like her story until we watched the Vice video.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Side note. Did you realize that I deleted my Twitter?
You did?
Yeah, I'm just like, I've had it deleted for like months, and I just realized I'm like, has she just been sending me
I have.
DMs?
I've been sending you so many. Why didn't you tell me?
I don't know. I think I like deleted it to clear space on my phone or something, and I just never re-downloaded it.
Deleting Twitter is a sin. I am shook that that's the app you chose. Why not LinkedIn or something stupid?
Because I was unemployed for a while.
Oh yeah, okay, fair.
And
Well,
I
you
mean,
better
you're
get
the
Twitter
one
back.
who opens LinkedIn like every other hour.
Well, that's like because I have too many notifications on it. And so I just keep seeing it to be like, God, like turn off. I've got to reset my settings.
Okay, I need to go back to my Twitter and just look at everything you said.
Yeah, I can't believe months. That's actually really crazy. I was always wondering, like, why aren't you commenting back? But I was like, maybe you're just looking at it and not like saying anything.
No, I left and I never I don't miss it. So maybe I should permanently leave it.
I think I would miss Twitter the most, but anyway.
Okay, back to Caroline Calloway. So I found out about her when the Cut article came out. And so that is how I think we want to kind of structure this episode. We'll talk about the three different big types of media that came out about her and just our thoughts on it. So the first one in chronological order is the Cut article, which is, I love the Cut. I think it's a great form of media. They put out some really great pieces. But this one was basically her ex-best friend, Natalie, who used to write her Instagram captions and co-wrote her book deal, basically wrote an article exposing Caroline. And then the second piece is her interview with Julia Fox, and I forget her co-host, but it's for the podcast Forbidden Fruit. And basically they're interviewing Caroline just 2 months after she leaves New York. And then the last piece is, of course, kind of what brought her into the Clown Vibes itinerary. But Vice, I think, came out with a very short documentary. It's only 20 minutes of basically interviewing Caroline while she's in Florida, and she's kind of giving tidbits about the Cut article and her perspective of the whole situation. And that came out about, I don't know, a month or two ago,
recently. Pretty recently. Wait, to take a step back, if I were to ask you what's the TLDR on Caroline Calloway, what would you say?
So the TLDR is she's this white blonde chick, which I think is actually very relevant. She's a very conventionally pretty white blonde chick.
She is really pretty.
Who in the early 2010s, at the start of Instagram influencing, became super famous for her Instagram, where she documented her life as a student in Cambridge. So that's how she gained followers. But then she basically after graduating from Cambridge, moved to New York and was living that Instagram influencer life, but I think was also trying to make money on the side selling workshops about healing or whatever. But basically she was she was planning all these workshops to help people find themselves and build flower crowns. It's all very wooey. She's a very wooey girl. And at the same time that happened, it was revealed that she was accepting people's money without booking venues or anything. And she also sold a book deal on her life and kind of how she got Instagram famous, and she missed the deadline on that. So kind of those two items at the same time caused people to call her a scammer. The fact that she sold the book. I think people pre-ordered the book, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then also bought tickets to her workshops that kind of just never happened, led people to basically say she's the biggest scammer. And at the same time that this was happening, Fire Festival was also happening. So people were just on this like witch hunt for scammers.
Yeah.
She's a low budget like Anna Delvey.
Yeah. But like the problem is she is stealing from normal people who don't have money. Anna Delvey, like, well, whatever. She was just stealing from rich people. And banks, like, okay.
So the first article, the Cut article, Natalie, who basically co-wrote the book deal with her and like was working on her Instagram captions with her, met Caroline when she was in NYU. And like there are lots of bits of pieces that like you immediately find out about Caroline and Natalie's relationship. It's very codependent.
Yeah.
They're very codependent on each other. I mean, we're codependent on each other, but in like a more healthy way,
Yeah.
we can even claim that.
Yeah, they were extremely codependent.
I don't know if you like picked up on this, but Natalie was very poetic about creating the difference between her image and
Very.
Caroline's image. Like when I mentioned she's
Yeah.
a pretty blonde white girl, Natalie is white, but she's a brunette. She's more tomboy. She's not feminine, and Caroline is very feminine.
Yeah.
And like it kind of reminded me of this like TikTok that I saw earlier in the year where people were saying how like men are attracted to the feminine energy. And in the article, I think Natalie was just very quick to the point that Caroline had everything. Like she would walk into the room and men would be all over her, but like herself as Natalie always struggled to get men's attention. And she kind of like paints the pictures because Caroline creates this very feminine energy that's intoxicating to the male population, but also just like the female population in general. I think people just love her. And Natalie is not like that. And it's very, very clear she's salty. I don't know if you got that vibe, but I felt like she was very salty.
She like simultaneously was living through Caroline while hating the shit out of her.
Yeah, it's, you know, that trend, the New York 10. Have you seen those trends?
No, what's that?
It's this recent thing where like people in New York are saying, oh, I have a friend who's a New York 10. You know how like a New York 10 is in SF20 or something like that? Like the stark difference between New York people and SF people. I mean, I'm just hating on SF because I live here, but like basically everyone in New York is beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's this trend where people who are friends with New York 10s will be like, I'm a friend with a New York 10. She's beautiful. She gets attention from every guy that she sees. And Natalie is a friend of a New York 10. Like that's what I understood from their interaction. But she's salty about it. Like she doesn't know how to handle being friends with a New York 10 because she's probably very insecure herself.
Yeah, it seemed like she wanted to be in Caroline's presence in a way that like maybe it would rub off on her or something, and it never did. And every time she realized that, she was never able to extract herself because she was so codependent on her. And Caroline would also make her feel so like good about herself.
Yeah, they would love bomb each other so much in the most toxic ways. I think it kind of reminded me of this guy that I dated who just love bombed me immediately, and to the point where I'm just like, do you even know what love is? Like Caroline is the type of person I think to love. Like she's such a romantic, and it shows in the way that she treats her friends. It shows in the way that she talks to other people. Like even in the interview that I listened to with Julia Fox, she was just saying like, you guys are my friends, I love you guys. Like she just loves love and loves to like be a people person.
Yeah, I watched these things backwards, or I watched the video first and then read the article. And in the video, she really like made me feel for her. I was like on Team Caroline. I mean, not really, but I was like, yeah, this girl just has a lot of issues. Like she kind of just fell into this issue that she was like unable to get out of. And then I read the article where it was like, no, she's a horrible person, this and that. So
do you think she's a horrible person after
no
reading both? I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think she's just a little unwell and things are like happening to her that she's like just not prepared for.
No, it's like she was so young when she got famous. Like she was 20.
Yeah.
She did seek to become famous. You know,
Yeah.
there are those types of people who just really want to become famous. Caroline is
Yeah.
one of those, but it's not like you can take a class and understand like how to be an influencer 101, how it would affect your mental health.
Yeah.
I don't think she truly understood that, and she just like was not prepared for it.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. Like once she started, she was just like falling into things that she was like, wait.
In the Vice documentary, she starts out by saying like Natalie lied through omission. What did you think about that?
I think that was interesting for her to say. And she then goes on to say, like, she lied just the way I lied through omission.
Mm-hmm.
And I think social media is a lie through omission in general. Like, that's the crux of
Mm-hmm.
the media.
Yeah, it just made me realize how toxic their relationship is, because I don't think she reveals this in the Vice documentary, but in her interview with Julia Fox, she was basically like, yeah, Natalie was trying to get me to sell the rights of my life for a movie deal.
Mm-hmm.
And like Natalie was in the talks of a movie deal. Everything comes back to money. Both of these individuals do not come from wealthy families, and none of them knows how to make money in the quote unquote conventional way.
Yeah.
So that's why like these big things happen, is they're both just trying to make money.
Yeah. Like Natalie, even though she hates Caroline, is like latching on because she
Oh
thinks
yeah.
Caroline is her ticket to wealth.
Yeah. In the podcast interview, Caroline was just like, yeah, Natalie came to me with this deal where she would get, I don't know, $50,000, probably even more, $50,000 in the deal. And I would get $15,000 and basically sign the rights away to my name. But she would forgive me forever. Like everything would be forgiven.
That's so toxic.
So toxic. Like they both know how to like manipulate each other. And at that time, like it was when, everything was happening with her dad committing suicide, and Caroline was like in a depressive cycle. Her lawyer every day would be like, just think about it. Don't sign today. But it was his tactic to get her to not sign, because she came to him and was like, I got us money. Like, this is such a good deal. Like, she thought it was a good deal. And he had to train her brain to like wait until she herself realized that it was a horrible deal.
Yeah. Oh my, to imagine selling the rights to your life and getting paid less. Like that makes no sense. Yeah, okay. That's good context to why she said Natalie lied by omission. I think the way their friendship truly began, like the toxicity of it, where they missed a few flights, then Caroline spent the money to pay for them to like fly back to the US from Europe, like spent a ton of money. And then Natalie worked it off by writing the captions, it was a tough start to a like friendship. You know what I mean? Like it was never like a true friendship. It was always like kind of off.
Well, that wasn't really the start of their friendship, but in a way, their friendship was always influenced by Caroline's Instagram fame and how Natalie wrote the captions. Like that was always at the crux of their relationship.
Yeah. I think that was like when it became, or in the article, it seemed like to me that's when it became the most like they were in this, rather than before. It was like you could have maybe gotten out of the situation.
I think also like Natalie was really fueled by her inability to make money. Like in the Cut article, that was a constant theme. Like her graduating from NYU and her like inability to find a good paying job.
Yeah.
And kind of Caroline was like her out, but Caroline is an extremely unstable person, like mentally unstable. And for that to be Natalie's only out, of course, it fueled a lot of like resentment towards Caroline.
Yeah, it's really blurring the lines of your relationship. Like it's becoming too many things.
I remember when I was at my peak, like interested in Caroline Calloway, but more so from like the train wreck that she was like when she was selling snake oil. Do you remember that?
Okay, yeah, I remember that only because Sophie Ross was fucking pissed.
In the podcast with Julia Fox, she talks about snake oil. It was basically revealed that she was in conversations with lots of companies to like actually manufacture snake oil. And she could have gotten like a lot of money for that, but she turned all those deals down because she wanted to focus more on writing her book that she sold again.
Okay, and wait, what was snake oil? Was it like actually snake oil? It was just like normal oil or like some other type of oil that she branded.
Yeah, it was this mixture that she created that I think is like that she uses for her skin, and she like swears by it. But the branding was so bad. Like it just looked like something that you would sell at a garage sale. And what I find really interesting is Caroline has always said that she's really good at branding. Like it's all about branding for her. Do you agree with this?
I would say her brand is being unstable, and she's good at that.
Yes. And she legit said that in the podcast, which means she's self-aware.
Yeah.
And in a way, she's doing it on purpose.
Okay, taking a step back, like, do you think she's lying in the podcast? Like, do we believe her? She is a chronic liar.
About the snake oil situation?
No, just about like anything she says.
She might be lying through omission.
But I think she also just lies based on, okay, this is based on me reading tweets this morning where everyone hates her and like was basically exposing all of her lies that she said. So I think she's both a liar and lies by omission.
Like, what is an example of a lie that people said?
This is like a really silly one, but she said she was vegan and then one day like posted her salmon and then the next day was like, oh, I'm breaking my veganism to eat my grandma's like clam chowder or something. And everyone was like, well, you ate salmon yesterday, you're not vegan. That's a dumb one, but it's a bunch of stuff like that.
I think Caroline is too chaotic even for herself to understand. I don't think she's ever like been held accountable for anything. I don't think she understands what like accountability means. And so I don't know. My read on the whole like vegan thing. I mean, you know, Nico is plant-based, but also not. Like the origin story is I didn't know he was plant-based forever because he lied through omission. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah. No, like I think that one's like a dumb one. It's just the one came to mind first mostly because Kim does that shit too.
Yeah.
Like Kim Kardashian would be like, I'm mostly vegan, but like we'll then eat a chicken nugget. But you know, even the way she like handles the whole apartment saga where she like painted her floors white, like I don't know. I think there is definitely a lot of lying going on, like true lying. Saying you can write the book, not writing it, you know, saying you
I don't
are
think
a
she
good
does
writer.
it on purpose. I don't know. My entire take is like she doesn't have a grasp of herself. Like everything about her life spirals, but like one step isn't intentional. Like she intentionally took one step, but it spiraled into like 10 steps. And those are the things that like were outside of her control. Like in the podcast, she revealed that she was sued for $400,000 by her landlord because she didn't pay rent for an entire year.
Yeah.
What's wild about that interview was basically the hosts were like, oh, we get it. Like it happens to everyone. No, it doesn't. It actually doesn't. So in a way, I think Caroline lies, but almost unintentionally, a little bit intentionally, but mostly unintentionally to keep up with her chaotic brand because she's self-aware. She knows that her brand is better when it's more chaotic.
Yeah.
In this upcoming book that she's about to launch called Scammer or whatever.
She actually launching it. Actually, I did. One of the tweets I sent you was her writing this book and had a ton of pages on the floor.
I am actually just unsure if she actually knows how to write because they asked her like, oh, when is the book coming out? And Caroline was like, I honestly think it will take 3 to 6 years.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And like her whole thing to like leaving New York and moving down to Florida, she like really wants to focus on reading and writing. Like she wants to read one book a day and write X many pages. I'm just like, Caroline, do you know how to read one book a day? Like the fact that you're setting that target for yourself just kind of makes me concerned that you don't actually know what it takes to read one book a day.
Yeah. And like reading one book and writing is crazy.
I think she has an idea of like what a person who reads does, which is have a big fat stack of book. She wants to be a high income pretty girl boss. And that wasn't her background, but she like knew that there were specific steps to take to get there, such as going to Cambridge. She didn't get into Cambridge twice. Like she originally went to NYU, restarted her bachelor's degree when she got into Cambridge. You know how much money and time that takes? Like that is just dedication to uphold a specific image that she wants. And part of that image is the ability to read and write these really lofty books, which I actually don't know if she's actually a good writer or a good reader. Like it's never been proven.
It's really interesting that she got a second book deal. Who gave her that?
I mean, obviously she has a fan base. She has a fan base of haters.
Yeah, but like how do they think she can deliver? Why didn't they just give her a ghostwriter?
Maybe she does have a ghostwriter. Maybe she lied.
I hope so.
That. Yeah.
But like a ghostwriter isn't going to take 3 to 6 years. So
no, and like her whole 3 to 6 year thing, it's a marketing ploy. Like in the interview, she was basically saying like, I am very fortunate that if I go under the radar, whenever I do launch this book, people are going to read it. Like she'll have an instant fan base. And she's very self-aware about that part. And so it's all part of the scheme or the scam. Like my interpretation of this is she's mentally unwell. She also has a little bit of ADHD. I don't know. Did you get that vibe from her?
I think so. Yeah.
Like when she was being interviewed in both the Vice documentary and the podcast, she was just all over the place. And that can be a bit intoxicating to be around. Like people really enjoy that because she's a good conversationalist. But when it comes to actually delivering on something, I truly don't know if she will be able to. I'm actually surprised she got her degree from Cambridge.
Yeah, that's what I was just about
actually
to
graduated.
say, like how she finagled that. Like that's why I think she must be somewhat smart.
Oh, you can't be completely dumb and not like scam people, you know.
I think it's silly when people write memoirs when they're in their 20s. So that was also very dumb of the publishing people. Like while she should capitalize on her fan base, like she said, she could go under the radar and then come back and still have those fans. So like there was no need to give her the second book deal so quickly when she's like not learned anything.
No, I think it's all about money at the end of the day. I mean, that's why she did her OnlyFans stint, was to pay back the publishing company for the 100K that they gave her to write the first book.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. The other like tweet I saw today, she like commented as her mom, like on one of her posts, and then tried to comment again, like bullying her mom, but like still from her mom's post, like from her mom's account. Like she forgot to switch accounts.
Oh, to like gain sympathy for her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She's
unhinged,
but like she does this all on purpose. Like even in the Vice interview when she's, you know, calling people from her Reddit hate thread.
Yeah.
It's to gain sympathy for herself.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, even that moderator she talked to like immediately was like, I'm so sorry. It was like, it's like the trolls in your comments when like the celeb replies and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like she herself should know that you can't really take these accounts seriously.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if Sophie Ross is Pigeon.
And like Pigeon is basically her biggest
hater.
Stan. Yeah. Hater / stan. Like knows everything about her, has created like a million timelines on the subreddit, just lives and breathes Caroline Calloway to a very unhealthy and fucking scary degree.
I wonder if Caroline has actual fans that like love her for who she is. I don't know. I'm like trying to draw the comparison to Taylor. You know how like Taylor has fans and haters. Like her haters really just do not like her music, do not like her as a person. But her fans like love her music, think she's so talented. But what is Caroline's actual talent? Someone explain this to me because I need to know. Like if her true fans, like what do you like about her?
I don't know. I think her talent is her instability. Like it's not a real talent, it's just who she is.
Her talent is being a socialite at one point, but most socialites
are
known. Yeah, most socialites are known for like their fashion or their taste in certain things. And
Yeah.
she's just an unhinged socialite at best.
Do we think the book is ever going to come out?
Yes, because I will write it for her if it doesn't. I'll get
I
Kevin to write
agree.
it.
I agree. I think it's going to come out in a long time from now. Like, I think her
Yeah.
3 to 6 year timeline is going to end up being accurate, and it's going to be it's going to be ghostwritten. Like, there's no way it's going to be her that delivers this book.
It's going to give me like beach read vibes for
Yeah.
sure, which means like it shouldn't take 3 to 6 years to write, but it's all a part of like the marketing ploy.
Yeah. Even the Vice documentary of 20 minutes had like pretty little substance in it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It was just all her floundering.
Yeah, it was her floundering, being like, I am trying my best, like calling those subreddit people. Like, nothing really happened in it. It was just her vibe. She was just vibing this video, and you're supposed to get it from the vibe. I did like the vibe though. Like, it was interesting to like consume. But can you make that any longer? I would not have watched.
No.
Even the 20 minutes was rough for me. I watched it once, not paying attention. And then I was like, I have to watch this video for the podcast. So then like yesterday I watched on my phone so that I couldn't be on my phone while I was watching. So
at least you're self-aware.
Yeah. And like the book is going to be the same, where it's going to be 200 pages of nothing, which, you know what? A ton of celebrities and influencers have books that are 200 pages that say nothing in them. So it's not like rare, and it's not going to be like anything crazy, but it is unfortunate.
Caroline thinks she's more interesting than she actually
100%.
is.
Like painting her apartment floor white. Why? I don't remember why she did that.
But in the podcast interview, she kind of talked about it as a viral moment. Like,
oh yeah, okay. In the Vice thing, that it did show like that TikTok where she was like trying to go viral because by like pouring paint on her floor.
So has she always wanted white floors? Yes, like part of that is true. Like, but the way she did it, the way it got on the internet, calculated. Like, she's unhinged, but not that unhinged.
Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast, or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com.
And if you enjoy our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye,
clowns.